Let's start with our sketch of our tiger again and see if we can't loft a tail onto the tiger. Where I need to start is there's lots of information here on this spline that goes all the way around his outside. I'm going to keep that original spline and transfer the necessary pieces of information I need to do my job to put a tail on him, and then I don't lose the original sketch. I don't lose that original information. Start with top plane, put a sketch on there, and what I'm going to do is grab sketch 2, highlight it, and convert entities. I've now moved everything from sketch 2 onto my sketch 5, all that information transferred over. That allows me to manipulate it on sketch 5 instead of sketch 2, and so I won't lose any information. Okay. And I'm going to cut up his tail a little bit here. Put a line in from about here. Oh, let's go ahead and put it straight up. We'll just slice it right there. That gives me a reference. I might as well trim away the tiger body also. You notice it went from a dark black to a light gray color. So the only information I have on here now is this piece here. This spline is all one entity. I need to break this spline. So if I go to Tools and Sketch Tools, Split Entities, I'm going to split this entity, and I'm kind of grabbing him in a weird place just to show that this is possible. See how I've split it at this point? I now have two entities here. So I've got my split point here. I'm just going to drag my split point up to the tip of his tail and agree to it. And even though when I wave my mouse over it it's turning orange at the old point, I think it moved it. Let's agree to this and see what happens. If I reopen sketch 5, yeah, I've broken that sketch up at the tip of his tail. Alright, so I'm happy with that now. Now let's take everything we have from sketch 5 and put it on to other sketches. I'm going to go to top plane, open a new sketch, pick on sketch. It's trying to grab sketch 2. I want sketch 5, and I will convert entities. And then I'm going to subtract this entity out from it, so I'll delete that, and I think I'll delete this line segment also. And now I just have this curve. This is going to be a guide curve for me later on, so I'm going to loft a curve in there with this as my guide curve. Similarly, I'm going to open up another sketch on top plane. I'm going to convert entities, entities to convert. I didn't grab them before I click convert entities, so I need to open up this, convert sketch 5 again. This time I'm going to delete the bottom and this line, and so I'll just have this top sketch. That's also going to be a guide curve for me on my loft. So sketch 6 is the bottom side, sketch 7 is the top side, and now it's time to start putting in some profiles for my lofting. I'm going to roll him around a little bit. It looks like if I grab right hand side plane, that's the plane that will line up with this line, I believe. So what I'm going to do is insert reference geometry, a plane, and because I had right plane selected, it put it into my first reference here. My second reference, I'm going to come over and click on this little line that I have here, and it's giving me a flat plane because perpendicular is picked. I don't want perpendicular, I'd like parallel. So now it's giving me a little plane in here that is parallel to my right hand side plane. And I had no idea how far over that was, but this tells me it's 3.937 inches. So now I know how far away that is. Not going to use that piece of information, but... And I'll resize my plane slightly just so I don't get confused with it. Select it, make sure it's turned blue, and open a sketch on it. And then I'm going to go normal to that sketch. And what we're going to do here is put in a spline. Don't get too crazy with this spline. Just point, and let's just try 3 points on our spline here. And we'll end that spline. Nothing too dramatic yet. We'll edit it here in a second. Now roll the screen down so you can kind of see the tiger tail. If we come in here and actually we've got too much information that we're looking at here. We've got sketch 2 on, and we've got this sketch with this tiger stripes. I need to shut some of those off. So I'm going to shut off sketch 2 so I don't accidentally grab anything on sketch 2. I'm also going to shut off sketch 3, that's his rear leg, and sketch 4, that's the tiger stripes. Those all can go away. There, this allows me to just grab the information or the items on the screen that I want. It won't get confused with copies of items. I'm also going to shut off sketch 5 so I don't grab any information from sketch 5 also. Now if I click on the end point here, hold down Control and click on my spline, it's saying 0.3 spline 7 of sketch 7, that's good. And I'm going to make that a pierce point. Similarly, I'm going to grab this side and this spline, and I'm going to ask it to be a pierce point there. That way it can run this profile out those guide curves, and I'm going to tone down that profile a little bit here. Maybe we'll stretch him out a little bit. Make it a little fluffier of a tail. There. I kind of like that profile. And agree to this. Now I have this profile on its own sketch. And it's almost ready to run down these guide curves. I'm going to run it down to this single point for a profile. So I need that single point to be on its own sketch. I'll open up a top plane sketch. I grab this single point on sketch 6 and convert entities. So that should be the only thing on sketch 9. Alright, let's see what happens if we try to loft this now. So I select the lofted surface. I'm going to go from this profile to, and I want to make sure it's just sketch 9, so I'm going to come out here and grab sketch 9. Something that can happen here is if you grab this profile and just come over and grab a point, it may not know it as sketch 9. For instance, it's saying profile of sketch 6. It can't understand what to do with that because it's defaulting into that point and this entire line, and that makes no sense to it. So avoid doing that. Do get it by opening up this and telling it that profile. Kind of a funny looking cone shaped tail here. Let's add some guide curves to it. Guide curves, I'll add in sketch 6. It doesn't know what to do with it yet. It quit giving me a preview of this. I'm getting nervous, but let's try adding in sketch 7, and it grew back our preview, so that's good. I think we're going to win here. hit OK, and it gave us a tail. If you're having problems with the profile following down a guide path, be sure to get in and tell it that these are pierce points on the end of your profiles or on your guide path. That gives the computer a little bit more information to work with, and it can do its thing running it down a guide path. I'll pause here and let you catch up.